So we're live, huh?
Okay. We are. The Kickstarter is live,
Yay! And there it is.
and
It's
I
live.
don't know. You want to start with the story until some people start asking questions.
Um. So we probably should have asked you this before, but I was thinking. Um. We've talked about the time period that this is taking place, and this is a whole new area and world, whatever. What do you think about
Right.
being in the Copper Age as opposed to iron and steel and all that?
Well, actually, I want them to start out with stone and wood, like most places, like Conan did,
Well,
and then
yes,
evolve
but
up.
I
So,
mean, I mean, have them go through that Stone Age, but have just stone to copper in this age of our game, and then in the next expansion do the iron and
oh yeah,
steel,
yeah, yeah,
and then this way we can
yeah,
kind of keep things at a nice pace, nice slow pace for. And I think that being able to build these characters that they're going to need to be able to make all these things is going to be important for not the grind, but we're going to need that kind of grind going on to be able to build up those skills and for the NPCs that they're going to control. So, but yeah, you
right.
know
I
what
mean,
you have. I know you have a story in place that you want to for the backstory of what is happening here, why we're suddenly in this whole new world, and everybody is, well, not everybody, but all the players are gods. Obviously the people
so
who
I mean,
exist
basically,
in this world aren't. Guys.
right. So the basic storyline. Let me go down to refresh my memory. Is basically the gods have looked down at Earth and said, "Well, they really messed this up, haven't they? I think we can do better." And so they've decided to abandon Earth and go off, look at some of the other planets, take a look, see what's there, and then basically find a new planet to start propagating life again. So where the storyline will go from there is that you get created, you're plopped down into this world by the gods, and you got to find your way around, figure out what you got to do next. The gods, there will be a temple when you enter with, a statue of a god, which will give you your quests to start off with. Then there will be different clues around the map, different quests, but not your normal quests. There are going to be some that are more puzzle like and more um, trying to figure out what this world is. And you're going to go through and just experience the world and try to be as good to the world as you can. So that's where we'll bring in other elements of the game, like planting and gardening and that kind of thing. Because if you go out and you decimate 5,000 trees, you should probably replant some.
Yeah.
Just saying. So um, as you go along and you follow the storyline, you're going to be finding things that maybe not even the gods know about this world. Because you got to remember, the gods, they created these worlds millennia ago. So, you know what? They don't remember everything about every planet. They probably should, but they probably don't. So you're going to uncover things that are going to give you boosts to the technologically advanced civilizations and give you a boost to where you're going to go with that. So your world will continue to evolve and grow, or in this case, your server, because different servers could be at different levels of technology.
Yeah.
It all depends on where everybody is in the storyline, where everything goes.
Yeah.
Um, so that's kind of the gist of the story. I don't want to give away too much because I wanted to, I've already sort of I've started writing it a while ago. And we're just going to go from there with it, see where it ends up, see where it goes.
So that's a good mention is the whole server aspect and how you're in your own section of the world. Your village, your town, your city as it grows is your server, and that is you. If we just make just the single player, this is going to be your world, and that's it. There's not going to be anything else, other than maybe a few off village areas for you to go adventure in. But for the most part, this is going to be where you are. If we make it to multiplayer,
because the single version will basically be a crafting gathering. I think I said we put in a dungeon and an arena to
yep,
battle AI,
yep,
but basically it's just going to be a crafting gathering type game,
yeah, it's a
building game.
city management,
City
basically.
builder.
Yeah, city builder. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, our goal, obviously, for the multiplayer aspect is to have the whole MMORPG aspect of it so that you can, group together with other players and even bring along your own NPCs and, go out and adventure in a bigger world. Whether it be going and visiting other villages that are in other servers and just transporting there, because that's like I was trying to say before, but I couldn't quite get it out. Is your village and everybody else's village is going to be their own server, and we almost need that capability because the number of NPCs that you're going to have running around in this village are going to require a little bit of RAM. So, yeah, we're going to have to have pretty beefy situation to support it all. But yeah, so you'll be able to venture out and go to other servers. And in some cases, they may be, our servers where we have dungeons or, NPC villages or whatever. But for the most part, it's going to be other players' servers where maybe they're playing a different type of character and maybe you don't like the way that they treat their NPCs or, whatever. They don't like the way you treat your NPCs or whatever, But, that's order and chaos, So, they're not necessarily going to go, hand in hand. You may have, two friends that are two different. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, that's where the god of, when you start the game, you're going to pick a god or a goddess. So right now we have planned the god of chaos and the goddess of creation.
Order and chaos.
So depending on which one, which one you choose, you'll have almost a different storyline to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're a different type of character, based on the god that you selected. There will be, when we get to the multiplayer level, there will be other gods that you'll be able to select from. But in the beginning, creation, chaos. Because with creation comes nothing but chaos, as we all know.
Right. So
it's about having children.
So
big life, you got chaos of the children.
So with the whole chaos and order creation, you have when you want to build an NPC, you're going to build that either in a chaos way where it's all going to be random number generated, and there's a pretty good chance that you're going to create something that's going to be above tier, but there's just as much of a chance that it's going to be a low tier. Whereas in creation or order, you will have complete control over what you're creating, but it will be limited. So your stats, may not go as high as it could go with chaos, but it won't go as low as it could with chaos. So I think that
then that's where armor and augment and adjustments and all that kind of stuff come into play.
Right.
So that you can balance it out. Because you have to remember, you have an avatar when you start out. Then you get into the game, plop down your land, claim whatever size it is. You decide to create another NPC. Then we haven't gotten to that aspect yet, but you're leading to it. You can then possess that NPC and play as that NPC.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not possessing it, it runs around your town and does whatever you set it to do. So if you set it up as someone who is a miner, then it'll go off mining while you're not possessing it. So there's some quality of life that's really nice with the NPCs. Because even after you leave the game, your world is still there. You're still, all your little minions, as I like to call them, minions, are off doing things.
Yep. And they're doing the grind, really, for their, whatever their, specialty is. And as long as they are grinding away, they're going to improve each day. But if you don't train them to do these things by taking that action at least once and then showing it, okay, I want you to repeat this action over and over again until you reach whatever level, or grow hungry or get killed or whatever, then you'll just revert back. But the idea, the concept is to allow you to have this method of training all these NPCs, the PC NPCs, I'm calling them, because you're going to have PCs, which are the standard PC that you would normally experience in any MMORPG, where you would go and you would play that character. But those characters are the ones that you can easily possess. But you also have NPCs. Now, these are characters that are also walking around in your village that you can try to possess, and sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. The more you do to benefit them, the more they're going to praise you. The more they praise you, the more likely you're going to be able to possess them. And if you can possess them, then you can get them to do specific tasks that you want them to do. Because you're not going to want to take all these characters out into an adventure. You're only going to want to take some of them, because some of them you're going to want them work in a farm or work in the tavern, or work in the blacksmith, or whatever the 100 different skill sets that we have designed. Fletcher and Tanner and all these other things.
Right.
But the idea.
And that's the thing too, is when you leave and people come in to see, they come across your world, your land claim, then it doesn't look like it's empty, even though you're not there. You have these NPCs running around doing their jobs and stuff, and you'll be able to interact with those NPCs.
Right.
And I'm going to say we're going to attempt to use AI to make it more of a realistic conversation than just, hey, hi. How you doing?
Yeah.
Good. Show me your wares. Okay. Maybe say, hey, how's the weather today? You know what? It's been really rainy lately and just not good. Not good for the crops. They're getting too moist. Too moist over there. And then you can continue a conversation if you choose, or you just say, I'm done.
To a degree. We don't want to go too far down that path, because, people are a little strange sometimes. Anyway.
And you think maybe the AI will take over?
Well, there's that too, but not for at least 6 months. You know.
So, I mean, that's part of the aspect of it. So, um, now once you've built this world of yours and you head out adventuring, there are different things that you're going to experience and you're going to find. It's going to be, all of this is going to be like your typical game systems. I mean, how you build your house, how you build your barn, where you plant your crops, where you plant your trees. We have videos of examples of kind of that stuff. We have video examples of, um, the way the combat will go in the game. Now, when we're funded, all of that could change. Nothing is set in stone as far as the way it looks,
Right, right, yeah,
because we'll then have a group of people that are going to say, hey, maybe this would be cool.
right,
And then we would say, yeah, that's cool. Let's make that happen.
yeah,
So things can still be in flux during the development stage, like everybody knows.
yeah,
That's how it works.
yeah,
When you're developing something, it's always in flux. It always changes.
yeah.
So,
Well, I mean,
um,
oh,
what else?
a lot of the art
Go
pieces that
ahead.
we have, some of them are artwork that we had commissioned, but a lot of it is artwork that was pre-generated from the Unreal Engine. So it is what it is. But as long as we can get funded, we can hire on graphic artists to do some of that stuff that we need to get done, like creating all those sprites and all those
Yeah,
3D textures and everything else that we've been just using what's available to us.
correct. Because, I mean, I'm no real programmer. I'm no real graphic designer. So we used what was available to us. We spent some money. We got what we needed to get an idea of, what are the elements and what could it look like in our game. And we kind of put it together with the help of other people, freelancers, that kind of stuff. We put everything together. So now what we really need is this team, to really create the game. Really, my phone comes on. To really create the final product of the game. So that's where we are with the game so far. So what should we talk about next? Let's see. Oh, how about we talk about PvP?
Okay.
What PvP is going to be like in the game?
Okay. Oh, you want me to explain? Okay.
You,
Oh.
I love PvP. I
Um,
am sure a lot of people that are watching love PvP.
I actually have a whole bunch of notes on PvP. Let's see if I can
Well, let
pull
me
them up.
start off.
Yep.
First, let's talk about your run, PvP. You'll be able to flip a switch and turn PvP on for your land claim so that other people could raid you or you could raid them. But you can only raid them if their PvP is on.
And yours.
So right, there is raiding available, and they will steal your resources if they win. So that's why we say these NPCs are necessary, and you need to possess them and play them as if they are a player character so that you can build them up and they can protect your town if you're doing PvP. But they also need to protect your town from PvE. because even things from the world can come into your realm and, mess with your shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, probably not steal your resources, but it's gonna wreak havoc with your buildings, any fencing that you have up. It might try to kill your NPCs. So you're gonna want to have guards. But back to the PvP side, we'll have that whole, you know, realm PvP battle. So what's your news?
Okay, so while playing PvP, you can obviously possess one of your PCs to do it in whatever team that you've assembled, and switch between the different PCs that you have and NPCs if they allow you, if you've got enough say over them, sway, not say sway. Then you can absolutely go in and fight as those characters and switch back and forth. But you can also provide them with targets by staying as an avatar and say to attack that or attack this or go for that, or you defend this or you heal that, or whatever it is you whatever strategies you want to use, you can play that with the avatar. But the biggest advantage of being an avatar is you're going to have these two commands: you can bless or you can smite. Obviously you want to bless your own PCs, NPCs, and smite your enemy PC, NPCs. You won't be able to smite or you won't be able to bless or smite any NPC PC that is possessed. But what everybody else is free game. What does that do? All right, so blessing and smiting, you will target a stat. Basically, what it basically is that you're going to be buffing or debuffing the character, and deteriorating a health pool or a stamina pool or whatever it is, and you can just bring it down by little nudges here and there. And the more power you put into it, the more you'll do. But you need that power to be able to possess and command and do all the other things that you want to do, because that's your pool, is your god power, is your pool of ability, and that's what allows you to do all the things that you're doing. And it's a pretty large pool, and you'll be able to do quite a bit, but it is still a pool, and it needs to be refreshed with prayers. So, but that's actually goes back to the city thing and having a statue of yourself, of your character, of your avatar that people will go to pray to, and blah blah blah, and that fills up the faith. There's a whole thing with that, but that's not PvP specific. But that's my first couple of notes on PvP.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, we're also going to have arena battles where you'll queue up. You know, depending on the funding, will determine if you look down on the Kickstarter page. I've stated different types of arenas that we will build for different stretch goals. So, again, all of this is when we reach the multiplayer version, because you can't really play with other people unless it's multiplayer. So we need to reach that goal in order to create that content. So there are going to be different arena battles. So we'll have anything, 1v1 is going to be like dueling. You just find somebody and say, let's fight. And you do it.
This is my champion.
Then
That's
we'll
your
have a
champ.
3v3. Hello?
You pick your champion. They pick their champion. You go in and possess them each and go and fight.
So, and then you kind of will have 3v3, kind of last man standing kind of thing. Um, we will have, actually, let me go look because I thought of so many different ones. I don't remember which ones I actually put on the Kickstarter. Um, okay, 3v3 capture the flag arena. So basically, there'll be a flag at their base, a flag at your base. You'll run to their side, they'll run to your side. You'll kill each other in between. The object is to grab the flag, and take it back to your base. And you'll get points, and whoever reaches the total points, within a certain period of time will win that battle. Now you'll get prizes, you'll get fame, you'll get, all kinds of nice stuff. When your team wins, when your team loses, you get a little bit just because you played. Not as much as you if you won, but that's how it works. 5v5, last man standing, free for all arena. 10v10 tower defense style arena. So basically, you're going to have a castle. They're going to have a castle. You're going to have to defend your castle from the onslaught. And if they take your castle, or whoever scores the most points by killing other players or doing damage to the castle, will win the game. You'll also have resources on that map where one or two players or whatever can go out, find resources, and repair. So the scoring will go up and down during the entire course of that battle. So that's 10v10, 20v20. These are 3 outposts. So you'll have 3 outposts that you have to capture. The longer you hold the outpost, the more points you're going to get. So you run in, you capture the outpost, you try and hold it, you build the outpost up. This probably should sound kind of familiar. Once you've built up that outpost, you're running around killing each other. So you'll have a time limit and a certain point value to get to. And once you've gotten to that point level, then you are the winner. Oh, the one I really like is a 20v20 PvP relic hunting map. So basically, relics will be placed throughout the map. You'll have 2 groups of, 20 people. You have to run around and collect the relics, all the relics, and take them back to your base. Now, if you have a relic at your base, another player from the other team could actually come and steal your relic and put it at their base instead of going to look and find it. So there's going to be a number of strategies you're going to be able to play this one indefinitely, because you can either focus on finding the relics yourself and being the first group to get all the relics, or you could just let them find it, kill them off, and steal their relics and take them back to your base, but knowing that they could do the same thing. So this one would definitely have to have a time limit on it, because people could be like stealing back and forth and going crazy. So those are the main ones. I've got like a million of them in my head, and there's no way we're going to be able to make all of them. But with a team, I'll be able to present those ideas, and the team will go, maybe not, or oh, that sounds cool. Or they'll do like Dardisa does to me and just goes, yeah, maybe you want to think about that. Right, Dardisa?
You're using that name. Yeah.
Oh, wait, what name should I have used? I thought Dardisa was the name you wanted me to use.
No. Justin. Just my real name is fine.
Justin! Oh my god, I call you Dardisa all the time.
I know. You use one character name, and poof, that becomes your name.
Well,
It's all good.
So, yeah, it is. So that's the arena aspect of PvP. So we're also probably going to have some other open world stuff for the main server that you're going to be on. And there could be different cities and stuff that you'll fight for control over and that kind of stuff. So that's PvP in a nutshell.
PvE.
What do you want to talk about?
PVE will be basically just walking into a wooded area and finding monsters and whatnot, and just dungeons and all that kind of stuff. All your standard stuff. We touched a little bit on that on before how you have to defend your city from the monsters that might come visit your city, or the bandits, or whatever it is that's going to be coming to your city. Now, they will be a level appropriate. You're not going to get stomped by some tier 1000 monster dragon swooping in on you while you're still handling stone weapons. That's not going to happen. It'll be all, according to your level. It's not going to blow you out of the water. You gotta be a little bit like, hey, I want to challenge you. I don't want to make you hate the game.
I have to admit, when we had the Conan servers, the people really loved it when we just dumped a shit ton of monsters for them to kill.
Yeah, yeah.
Which brings us to portals, which are PvE.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout the map, portals will open up. They will drop, sets of different monsters for you to fight and do battle with. Usually it will require a team of 5 or more people, depending on the level of the portal. And, you'll get prizes and chests and equipment and all that kind of happy horse stuff. So that's another aspect. They will pop up randomly throughout the world and they'll be based on the level of the map area, whatever that area is. You'll also be able to craft items that you can create special portals. So you can open up one of your own.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, the gods are the ones who are creating the portals. But you'll have the ability to craft an item, fling it out into the ground, portal comes open, and all these creatures start coming at it. So that's another aspect for PvE players.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to balance PvP and PvE in this game to make it fun for everybody. We're also trying to balance that you can just do city management if that's all you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have your own little town, you just want to do your thing, you want to grow your crops, raise your farm animals, you'll be able to do that. And you'll still gain an experience, through all that kind of stuff. Because pretty much everything you do is going to give you experience in this game. Right?
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. So
I think we've covered story,
Yep.
PvE, PvP.
Yep.
How about building? Can you talk a little bit about building?
I mean, we could be real quick because we got to start wrapping up. But maybe as far as building goes, we're pretty standard with building. We're gonna do well, I shouldn't say that because my hope is that when we have this designed, that we are using a method that will allow you to build structures, but build them. Okay, so okay, let me rephrase. I'm sorry. Let me just restart. So, a lot of games out there they give you either or options. So especially with city management games. But one of my favorites as far as the building aspect is, and it's silly because it's only a 2-dimensional world that you're working with, is RimWorld. And the reason I like it is the way they deal with zones. And I think that is something we can we can use. And I'd like to set this up so that when you're building, you can build whatever structure you want to build, but it's a matter of how you zone it is what is going to determine what can happen there. So you could have, a craftsman table, craftsman's bench, and a armorer and a tanner and all these different places inside your building. But unless you zoned the foundations that they're sitting on to be a blacksmith or to be a carpenter or to be a tanner or to be an armor smith or to be a weaponsmith or whatever they're going to be, excuse me, it's not going to work. But the fun part is that you're going to have all these storage areas, and I think that being able to have characters that are basically just going and putting things in storage from one place to another to fill out the orders for your different craftsmen, especially your builder, because you're going to have a NPC that is a builder. So you may put down a blueprint, and then your builder is going to come along and fill it up with all the materials so that it's now there and a real thing. So I think I might have gone a little bit left, right, center, but the thing is, all right. So sorry. So you have different types of players who like to do all that building stuff and players who really don't really care. And we're going to provide for both of them. So you can be a builder and you can go out there and you can build all these great structures, all that you want. You're going to have to deal with things like, I had all these words all up here, all written down, and now that I'm sitting here trying to talk about it, the words are just gone. Hello, goodbye.
Interesting.
But stability is going to be a question. You're not going to want to put thatch flooring down and then try to stack wood walls on top of that with a stone ceiling. It's just that's not recommended. It's going to fall down. So there's going to be aspects of that involved, and while you can go out there and you can more than welcome to go and build it all you want to your heart's desire, as long as you're following those kinds of methods and rules. You also have the ability to just use blueprints that were pre-made for you. Here's a hut, here's a tower, here's a gate, here's a fence. Use these if you don't want to do it yourself, type of situation. So that's that.
Blueprints.
Yeah. So you'll have both.
Walk down a blueprint, you're good to go.
Right, so you'll have both of those available to you. You don't have to worry, I don't really want to build a city. Well, you don't have to. You could use the blueprints and just throw it all out there. But, the NPCs are going to be based on the using the navigation based on the zoning. So they'll know where they're going, when they've gotten there, because they're in the zone. That they were destined to go to. So farming, you're going to plot out a zone for farming. You want to go cut down trees and plant trees, you're going to zone that out. You're going to zone out all these different areas for hunting or anything else. Storage, building a well. All these things are going to have an associated zone where the characters will just go and they will go between the different zones that provide the different resources that they need. And based on their skill level, we'll collect based on that. But, that's building.
With possible risks to your NPC by PvE.
Well, going back to the PvP arenas and the PvP multiplayer matches that you were talking about before, when you are setting something up and you have to build in those, you're going to have to remember that you're going to have to bring with you into the arena a craftsman that can build those things and defend themselves. So, your NPC may not be the strongest, but if he's the one that can build, well, you're going to have to make sure you protect that NPC somehow. Same vice versa,
So, so again, it depends. If you're a builder, you're fine. We got you covered because you can build anything you want. You know, build a Taj Mahal for all we care. You know, as long as you can figure out how to put the pieces together, you're good. You know, or you're not a builder, but you know, the whole point is to have a home to go to, you know, then we have that covered too. You can get a blueprint, plop that blueprint on the ground, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Just got to add the resources. But one of the really good things that I like is we do, if you're a builder and not a blueprinter, when you're building, you build a ghost structure first.
Hmm.
So you can completely build the building first. If you like what you like, then you can add resources to it. That way you're not oh, like I used to do all the damn time. Sorry. I used to go in, build this stuff, put something in the wrong friggin' place, destroy it, only get part of my resources back, and just be really angry about it. But this way you can actually build the whole thing, put it all together, and you're good.
You can
So
also
that's building. Um,
you can also copy and paste your buildings. So you'll take, if you've created a building, you'll select those pieces and you can say, "Oh, I want to save this blueprint as such and such a blueprint." Name it, put it in your file cabinet. That's your blueprint. So when you go out into those arenas and you want to build a tower, you can go, "Oh, this is the tower I want to use here. This is the one we're going to build here. Go quickly, put the materials in so we can build it quickly." Craftsman hit this thing a couple of times, you know. Um,
yeah.
to touch on it, there was something else I wanted to touch on, and you said it, and I wanted to say it. And I should have said it. I hate it when that happens. No, no, nothing to be sorry
You
about.
can also maybe you were gonna say you can also sell and or trade those
Yes,
blueprints to other
yes,
players.
yes. That was the other thing.
There we go.
That
So
was
if you
the other thing.
built this really magnificent Taj Mahal, you can take the blueprint you created and give it to your buddy if you want, or tell your buddy, "Hey, I need 50,000 ore for this." He may look at you like you're crazy, but sure, you could. Okay, so the next biggest thing is combat and weapons. That's really important. So basically, we're going to have um, a tree system for each weapon that you can use. So you'll have one-handed, you'll have shields, you'll have two-handed, of course. Um, shoot. And then you're going to have a magic system. But there aren't going to be any wands or staffs. Magic comes from right here, from within your avatar. So in the link of, you know, your weapon skills, there will be a magic system. Earth, air, fire, water, spirit. Each one does something different, of course. Each one has different sets of spells. Depending on how many points you put in each one determines, you know, the strength of those spells. Now, you're not using weapons. How do you cast? Right here, with your hands. Cast it with your hands. Wow. So, as a spellcaster, if let's say you put points in fire and you put points in ice, one hand you start throwing some fireballs, the other hand you start throwing some ice balls out. You can just keep going back and forth, throwing that shit out there. Um, there will be some two-handed spells, like channeling spells. Well, you'll have to use both hands to channel. Um, We will make every attempt to make sure, from the spellcasting aspect, that you will be able to move while casting spells like everybody else does. The range people, the melee people, they all get to run around and do what they want to do. But in most games, for the poor spell casters, you got to stand there. And it takes you time to cast your spell, and then you can move. Meanwhile, you got a tank beating on your ass, killing you while you're in the middle of trying to cast a spell. So we're going to try and balance all of the weaponry to have the same ranges, the same power, so that it's all an equal playing field. You don't have these archers, Justin, who can shoot you from 500 miles away while I can't even touch him with my friggin' firebolt.
What
Remember
can I
that?
say?
Uh-huh. That was you. You. I don't know if you're here or if you're here.
I'm here.
Um, so combat, we're really, really gonna do our best. And every time you defeat something, every time you fight, every time, and it doesn't matter if it's PvE or PvP, you're using a weapon, you're gaining weapon experience. And then once you reach certain levels, you'll then be able to add new abilities to be able to work with those weapons. We'll give you like 3 or 4 abilities for each weapon, and then you're going to have, for some of the weapons, um, you'll have different classes that you're going to be able to build. The one thing I'm really excited about putting back into a game is a true bard, like EverQuest bards, where you actually play the music and you do the damage. You play the music and you do healing. So I really, really, really want to put that back into a game. I love that in EverQuest, and I really want to bring that back. But other than that, you can make a tank, you can make a cleric, you can make, whatever you want. Because again, it all depends on where you point your points and what you want to do.
Yep.
Now, if you're holding a sword and a shield, you're not going to be able to cast spells. But if you're holding a shield, you can cast one-handed spells. If you're holding a sword, you can cast one-handed spells. So that's the type of combat that you're going to experience in this game. So it's going to be very flexible as to what you want to do. And basically, earth spells, air spells, fire spells, water spells are going to be your typical stuff. You know, fire, ice, yada yada, whirlwind, yada yada yada. Spirit. Spirit's going to be really interesting because you'll be able to summon minions, companions that will help you in battle. Depending on which god or goddess that you have selected, you'll be more like let's say you did the goddess of creation. So you're gonna summon more things like, a tiger or something nature kind of deal to help you in battle. Whereas if you do the god of chaos, you'll be calling forth the undead. So you'll be more of a necromancer type of thing. So that's where those two split up. So when you're thinking about which god or goddess to select, you need to think about that. Do you want to be like a hunter style person or a necromancer? Going to be a hard decision for you. So that's basically combat in a nutshell, I guess. You got anything else?
No, I mean, I think the audience has pretty much figured out that we have segmented areas that we're not responsible for, but that we're piloting.
Right. And I mean, and the big thing is, as the game as a whole, we're hoping to mesh it together really well.
I think it
Because
will
you've been
too.
gaming for a really long time. I've been gaming for a really long time. You know what we liked, we know what we disliked. You have different likes and dislikes than I do. I have different dislikes and likes than you do. So we kind of meld together, and I think we make a pretty good team, personally.
I do too.
You know, my wife says we're like an old married couple already. But we have known each other for God, how long has it been? Many years,
Years,
many years now.
many years.
Yeah. So, but so that helps us, and then once we get a team, then they're going to be able to add their input into what we're doing and help us with, okay, maybe that is a good idea, maybe that's not a good idea.
I think we've
And
got.
the community
I think
because
I think we've got the essence of a really good framework for the entire game, and I think having that team will help us refine this effort so that we can implement what we've posted on our Kickstarter, and I think that that's what people really want, what they're really looking for. I mean, you look at all the games that are out there, and the parts that they like are in this game. The parts that they don't like are not in this game, and that's pretty much across the board. And so, we were like, well, these games they're not what we're looking for. So what are we looking for? Well, here it is. This is what we're looking for. This is the game. So,
and the community, when they donate to Kickstarter, depending on their level of donation, and even not their level of donation, they can give us feedback on, we are not, and we have no, idea that we're going to please everybody. It's just not going to happen.
no.
But
I can
we
hope.
that we're going to bring enough of what you like and what they like together so that, you'll be happy. Is what I think.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. Well, it took us about a half hour just to get started. I think having been on an hour and a half now, I think we've got the hour that we wanted to get. So, do you think we covered everything that we needed to cover?
I mean, I guess. There's still. We didn't talk about mounts. Yes, we want to have mounts, but that again is going to be once we do multiplayer, because that's going to be a little bit, and I want to do mounted combat, which is something a lot of games don't have. Yeah, you can run around on your mounts, but you can't actually have combat elements.
And it's not just mounts like you're riding around on a horse or whatever.
Example, on the Kickstarter,
I'm thinking more of chariots and things of that nature. I mean, could you imagine riding a chariot in an arena?
well, we could do that too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward
Oh
to
yeah,
that.
and not just in an arena, but having like
Right.
a track where
Right.
you actually race your chariot
And,
and
and,
your horse.
and imagine
But, yeah,
in order
even running through.
to have a certain level miner, that miner needs to have carts. He needs to have a certain level cart to be able to get you the materials you need. And not just ores, but coal too. You're gonna need coal. You're gonna need these things that that support all the other stuff that you're doing. And you're gonna need those stone and logs and thatch and everything else, reeds and whatever it is. You're gonna need lots of it. So you're gonna need to be moving that stuff around, and that's mounts are going to be a large part of that.
Right, because we're going to have all that gathering stuff in there. But one of the other things you're going to get is you're going to get, like when you go to gather stuff, you're going to get seeds or transplants, cuttings, so that you can take that back to your town and you can plant it and grow it yourself. So that'll reduce, not 100%, but may reduce how much time you have to go spending finding. If you get a rare herb or something,
Hmm.
then you're going to want to take that back and you're going to want to plant a bunch of beds of that
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
it's a rare herb. And you don't want to have to keep going out and have to try to find it.
Which reminds me, if we do make it to the multiple monthly player level of this, one of the things I do want to kind of not enforce, but I want
When do
to,
we get there?
when we get there, I want to have it so different servers have a different rarity. So it kind of, not that it forces you to trade with other players, but it makes it more viable. Not only that, I'd like to see a level of quality that goes into the different items. So the better materials, the better craftsmanship makes a more quality item, becomes more durable, becomes more
Right.
useful, and whether it's a weapon or a
Right.
tool, armor or
Yeah.
whatever it is. And the better those things are, the better they'll work. Um, but
Exactly.
yeah.
Or you'll be able to craft more of them. So, like if you go in and use better ingredients, then maybe you'll craft 20 instead of 10. So you'll get a bonus because you've crafted with better ingredients. And then there's, oh, the shield. Ooh, mm, I want a shield that you can toss. We're going to put that in the game. So you tanks out there, you can toss that shield. It will hit a target, do an AoE, increase your threat, and come right back to you. But you're going to have to put a coating on your shield to get it to do that. Just saying. Magic coating. Shield. Twang!
Hmm.
Just saying.
And
Gotta
the
have a shield that you can throw.
the quality of the herbs and components that's going to go into making your spells and everything else. That's going to have an effect on how viable the spell is.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. Um,
All right.
I do have to call it a night though. So, did we want to look
Okay.
at anything else? I know this is like the third time I've said
I think we can always
that.
do another stream. I know.
Okay.
We can
Yeah.
always, do another stream.
We'll
So
do
it's
an
no big
update
deal. I
stream.
want to do them periodically anyway. When people start asking questions on the Kickstarter and that kind of thing,
Right.
we'll address those questions. They can also, send messages and emails,
Hmm.
you know,
We do have a
and just
Discord
do it
channel.
that way.
Maybe Carrie will be kind
We
enough to
do.
post the Kickstarter, not Kickstarter, the Discord channel in the
Let
Twitch
me do,
chat.
let me do that. Let me do that. Invite people. Edit. Never. Alrighty. I got this.
All right.
I got this.
Any questions from
You
our
know me.
3 viewers? Two of which are Carrie.
Can't believe we only had. Yeah. So I guess that's it. Yeah. I guess we're good.
Hey,
So we'll figure out when we're going to stream next. What?
we got a backer.
Huh?
We got a backer. Our first backer.
We got a what?
A backer.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
It's a start. Thank you. All right. So we'll figure out when our next stream is, and we'll let you all know.
Yep.
Definitely join the Discord to get advance notice. There's the website, there's Twitch itself. I'll post the schedule on the Twitch pages, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. It'll be all over the place.
Ho-
So that's it from me,
hopefully we'll
Justin.
be at. Hopefully we'll get to be old hats at this and not take half an hour to start up.
True. So, alrighty. Then, Justin, I will talk to you later.
All right.
And everybody watching the stream, remember follow me, follow Justin, do all that happy crap most people do, and we will talk at you another time. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.